Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Live, Love Your Passion, where we talk everything mindset, business, and branding. My name is Shawana Livingston, and today we are talking about the 5 mistakes that I made that stunted my business growth. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. Live, Love Your Passion is 3 years old, and business has literally been just booming. You know, God has really blessed my business, and that's honestly the reason that I haven't been making as many videos, because I've been focused on business stuff. But I wanted to just go back to the core of what was working, what was really inspiring people. But business has been doing really good. This year, 2021, I have grossed my entire salary from my last job, my annual salary from my last job. I have been able to gross that in revenue in 5 months. I can't believe it. I'm excited for what's to come for me. My goal was to make this be my 100K year. As of now, I'm on track to do about 70K, but still, like, guys, like, anything can happen, first of all, but two, like, I was not doing this like about a year ago. So before I was able to get to this really high point in my business, I did make some mistakes, okay? So the very first mistake that I made was not trusting myself. I allowed things like imposter syndrome to come in. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's like a fancy term that people are using these days to describe you just having self-doubt, not believing that you're good enough, comparing yourself to other people, not thinking you're skilled enough, educated enough, just all of these, that devil on your shoulder telling you what you can't do. That is imposter syndrome. So I had imposter syndrome really bad. I would also just seek validation from other people, like even, you know, mentors. I would seek validation just because I was like, oh, they're a mentor, they're a coach, they should be able to validate my idea. And I didn't trust where God was taking me. And so that put me in a position where I felt a lot of confusion and I didn't know what direction to go with my business. So, you know, if you are ever feeling a lot of fear, doubt, indecision, that is not of God, okay? That is not you hearing the voice of God telling you what to do. Because if you hear the voice of God, or if you get that hunch and inspiration on to move forward, it's going to be clear. It is not going to be indecision. It's not going to be confusion, but you have to trust that. So that's what I mean by trusting yourself. You're really trusting your higher self, which is receiving ideas and inspiration from God, you know, the super conscious. That's where you're receiving it from. So I didn't trust myself, and you know, that really caused me to stunt my business growth, because I wasn't able to move like God wanted me to move, because I wasn't trusting the direction that I was receiving. So, you know, if you're watching this and you know there's something you're supposed to be doing, and God been like, hey, move this way, but you don't trust it, because it's kind of like you are trusting yourself at the same time. You are having an inner conversation. But if you don't trust that, then you're going to stop yourself. You're going to get in your own way. You're going to hold yourself back. So the second thing that I did that really stunted my business growth is I did not hire a business coach soon enough. So I would sign up for all of these courses, these like low ticket courses, download like freebies and stuff off of people's websites. I would take this quiz and that quiz to tell me what I should do in my business, get these PDFs. I would sign up for email lists, doing all the things, but getting a coach to direct my path. Without my coach, I do have a coach now, and I'm working with her for 12 months. So super transformational, right? But without my business coach, you know, I would have probably picked up on some strategies and tactics of things that I needed to implement in my business, but I may not have had the right mindset to be able to hold, just to have the capacity for what I was about to receive, right? So after I hired my business coach, I was actually able to hit my first 5-figure month in my business, also secure my first corporate contract. Like, the main thing that was holding me back wasn't just the strategies. Yes, those strategies help, but my mindset. Like, I didn't even believe it was possible that someone would pay me $6,000. Like, somebody paid me that amount of money, for coaching and for some services, but I didn't even believe it was possible. And I was lowballing myself, and it had nothing to do with the tactics and strategies I was using, but it was all my mindset. So if you're watching this and you haven't hired a coach yet, and you've been just getting these little bitty courses here and there, most likely if you're not seeing the results you want to see, you need a business coach, because a business coach is going to help you get a bigger transformation. And most likely you need to work with them a lot longer than a couple of weeks. So the third mistake that I made that stunted my business growth is I didn't hire soon enough. I also hired the wrong person, or the first person that I hired, just that wasn't the person I needed in my business. And then also, like, I didn't have the right processes in place to be hiring in the first place. Okay, so this is all one big problem in one, but it kind of all revolves around hiring somebody. So when I say hire, I am referring to a contractor. Okay, most small business owners don't get, hire on W-2 employees and like pay an annual salary for somebody right off the bat. Normally they just contract with somebody and they just pay them a retainer fee or hourly or whatever that person's rate is. So I contracted with a virtual assistant. I brought her in, and it was going good for like the first 3 to 4 weeks. And then after that, everything just went downhill. And I thought it was because she didn't know what she was doing, but it took some growth, it took some learning. I had to read a couple books, and I learned that just because somebody's an expert in their field, when they come into your business, they still have to know how you run things in your business in order to implement things the way that you want them done. So, the problem that I had is I hadn't actually created any standard operating procedures for my business. I hadn't been like writing down step by step how I accomplish things. So if you're watching this and you do everything on your own in your business, that's okay. You're a solopreneur, totally fine. But you're used to how you do things. Like if you, get a lead or somebody contacts you about services, and then you email them, and then they schedule a call with you, and then you get on the call, and then after that you send a proposal and then a contract. Like, all of that is a process, and it should be documented so somebody else can follow it if you need to bring somebody else in. So that's what I didn't have. I did not have documented processes and procedures for my virtual assistant to follow. So when she came in, I'm thinking like, hey, she should be able to clean it up around here, right? She should be able to help me out with and get everything more organized, when in actuality, she was supposed to help me with the processes that I already had in place. So that was a huge problem. And I also didn't hire her soon enough. I hired her when everything kind of hit the fan and I couldn't juggle any more balls. So to help you in this area, what I would say is hire sooner than you need. Make sure that you have processes and procedures already in place before you hire. And then make sure you are hiring the right person. That's another thing. This person was amazing, but she wasn't the right first person that I was supposed to hire for my business. The first person that you are supposed to hire, or what I believe, is somebody to duplicate you. Like, what is it that you do the most in your business? Me, for example, I'm always designing because my clients need design work. I'm a graphic designer, so they need websites, they need logos, and then I need that for my own business. Websites, logos, content, constantly content created. So a graphic designer or a tech person would probably be the best first investment for me, because it would help alleviate some of my work, and then it would help me to be able to operate in my genius. So like creating videos, speaking, doing those type of things, and then also would help me or give me more time to go out there and pitch for new business and get new clients, because a lot of that work is already alleviated for me. So I believe that's the first person that you should hire. But that mistake cost me a lot, so I'm telling y'all so that it doesn't cost you like it did for me. The fourth thing that stunted my business growth is doing everything that everyone else was doing. Like, I literally started to just pick up, just looking at social media and just picking up this and that from everybody else, because I was just comparing myself. I felt like, oh, if she's being successful doing that thing, then maybe I should do that thing. And if they're successful doing that, then maybe I should be doing that. And this goes back to trusting yourself. Like, I didn't trust my gifts. I didn't trust in my ideas, or, you know, just everything that God had given me to be doing. I didn't trust that. And so I started literally creating content like everybody else, or doing things because everyone else was doing it. So this really stunted my business growth. It took away from my individuality. It really hurt my personal brand because I started to look like everybody else. And it really took away that know, like, and trust factor from me. Like, people couldn't get to know me and like me or trust me because I was pretty much like everybody else. So be yourself. I know it sounds cliche. Don't hide, you know, and become somebody else, but just be who you naturally are. The fifth thing that stunted my business growth is just not having fun. Okay, not having fun in my business, not going out, not seeing my friends, not hanging with my family, not playing with my kids. Like, that stunted my business growth, because work, which is my business is work. I don't see it as work because I'm so passionate about it, but work became work. Okay, and I don't believe that work should ever become work, because I don't really believe in like work-life balance. I feel like work should be a part of your life and life should be a part of your work. But I do believe you still have to cross a boundary and say, I'm not going to focus on something that's my income generator today because I just want to be. I just want to be in the moment without, you know, documenting something. Like, for example, I went on a trip to Miami, and it was amazing because I didn't spend all my time documenting the trip to think ahead for content later. Now, I did create some content on this trip, like minimal, but I didn't spend my whole trip like, let me make sure I record this and let me make sure I talk to my Instagram followers. I literally just fell off the earth and didn't get on social media, and I think that's really healthy to do. All right, guys, so those are the top 5 mistakes that I made that stunted my business growth. Once I pretty much overcame those mistakes and got rid of those things, my business just shot up. So if you're suffering with any of those, I highly recommend that you nip it in the bud right now. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you comment below. Again, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.